It's been a minute. Let's get this off. These on. Get this going. Alright. Do I look a little more camera presentable? What's cracking? What's cracking? Who's in here? If you got any one-wheel questions, throw them in the comments here so I can answer them, because I'm doing a video about shooting on one-wheels today.
These riddles in the sand disappear from my hands.
I'm also running an Instagram live waiting for people to ask me one-wheel questions. Everybody just comes in and they sit there and look at me and don't say anything. I got a one-wheel XR last winter. I only got this thing because I saw other people on Segways and electronic skateboards and unicycles and a bunch of other electronic vehicles in general using these to shoot on. Being that I did have some experience as a skateboarder in the past, I figured this would be the easiest for me to adapt to quickly, because I had an upcoming shoot that I was going to need to do tracking shots and chase people, and there was no way I was going to be able to do that running after professional marathon runners and keep my shots remotely stable even on a gimbal. So I booked the shoot, ordered the board, and then Onewheel had shipping delays, which I'm finding out are pretty fucking common. By the time I got the board and chased the FedEx driver that tried to deliver it to a different address and take off with it, I wound up with like 7 days to learn how to ride it before handling my camera equipment. There was a lot of things I didn't know about the board, like the in-app settings to switch to Goofy Foot. That took me a couple minutes to find it. It was kind of in a settings spot where it just didn't make sense. It wasn't instantly accessible. I didn't see it in any of the manuals. Once the temperatures get so cold out that the foot pad starts to be a little funny when it comes to like recognizing that your foot's actually on the pad. I'm chasing these guys and I'm hearing this buzzing going on, and the notifications just keep telling me to stop taking my foot off the front sensor, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then bang, nosedive. Beforehand, I already kind of anticipated that I was probably going to bust my ass, so when I was practicing upstairs, I spent a lot of time with like old camera equipment and old junk tripods, and anytime that I did fall off, I practiced the old tuck and roll so I could at least try to protect some of my gear from getting smashed up. This takes a lot of coordination. If you're going to be shooting on one of these, you have to know where you're going. Your course has to be safe. I've been shooting in traffic in the middle of rush hour in Manhattan. I would imagine that all the tech junkies right now, with the upcoming release of the GT, if a one-wheel is something that you're interested in purchasing, now is probably a good time to start looking for some good used XRs, because you'll get a lot of guys that just have to have the hottest, newest shit out there, so they'll be dumping their old stuff for cheap, trying to get rid of it so they can finance the new one. So I would think now is probably a better time to start looking for the XR, which if you're going to be using this to shoot on, you don't need the GT. No matter how many times you say you don't want to see this ad anymore, it still finds a way to pop up and harass you. I noticed the comments on some of the advertisements were getting heated because people that were pre-ordering the new GT months ago even were given an estimated, I guess, shipping date. And I mean, everybody knows COVID's kind of fucked everything up, but now I guess apparently there's an even longer shipping delay for some of those people that have bought the GTs, which, I mean, I guess that's to be understood. But then when I look on YouTube and I see how many influencers have gotten free boards while paying customers are still being told that they're going to be made to wait, that pisses me off. If you have that much money to invest in bombarding people that have already even bought your damn board with advertisement after advertisement after advertisement, I'm noticing a lot of the same format. And if you go on their social media and go on down their page, there's a sprinkle of color here or there, and you might see a girl in a post here or there, but I don't see anybody that looks like me. The charge that's just kind of been behind companies making sure that their brands are inclusive and represented as such, I think is kind of important. This thing has become pretty useful in my overall shooting technique and the style of video that I shoot. I've used it indoors, I've used it outdoors. The tracking shots that I've been able to get are pretty sick. We shoot a lot of stuff for smaller budget clients that don't have the money for permits and some of these things, so it does require me to do my own stunts a lot. It auto balances itself, so once I got the hang of it, it's now just kind of become a second extension, so I don't have to be so conscious of it when I'm shooting. However, shooting in New York City, the roads here are such shit that it requires an immense amount of concentration to monitor my camera control, my focus, and making sure that I'm not going to fall off into a manhole cover, because there's construction always going around, and then there's also moving obstacles such as bike messengers and things that never pay attention where they're going, and those motherfuckers will take you out. And you have pedestrians not giving a damn. So riding in traffic, I really don't recommend that. I recommend trying to keep this stuff on closed sets, and if you are going to be courageous enough to take this out into traffic, try to get a safety behind you. I feel like running a camera on this is a lot like riding a motorcycle. You have to watch your peripherals and be ahead of anything that's going to be coming up on your side. It's fast enough to keep up with most athletic videos, whether I'm chasing runners, other skateboarders, people on bikes. So a lot of like sports style editing can be accomplished with this. I'll probably say the biggest thing that made me get this over like an electric skateboard or any of the other vehicles is the fact that the tire and the way it balances, you can go up into dirt on these. So to me, it made no sense to spend a couple $1,000s on a board that I was only going to be able to shoot on pavement with. So this will go off terrain to an extent.
Riding this thing out in public, people that have never seen them before, they just freeze. Dogs included.
Yeah, it'll do a solid 20 miles an hour, so if you're in New York, speed limit is pretty much 25 miles an hour wherever the fuck you're going anyway, so there's not a whole lot that can outrun you if you want to close a block down and try to get a couple shots chasing a car. I run this with the RS2 and my Nikon. Make sure you have gear insurance. There's a lot of aftermarket accessories for the XR. So again, I would say that like buying a used XR, if you're like going to be getting into this and getting one of these to shoot on, I would still think that the XR is your best bet. I wouldn't get the pint unless you're maybe a smaller female, just because I wear a men's 9.5 and I'm about 5'8", 160 pounds. So I think that already is just the right size for somebody like me to balance properly and still not feel off-centered when I'm running a camera rig. So I don't think the pint is really a good choice, just because it's a smaller board, and I feel that you have more to counterbalance depending on the rig that you're going to be using. I don't want this to seem like a video where I was just talking shit. I'm somebody that likes to be really fair, but I'm also somebody that likes to give good advice when it comes to saving people money, and I think getting the newest and latest tech is the biggest waste of money when it comes to being a filmmaker. Anyway, I'm Sean Cooper, and if you like what I have to say when I come here to run my fucking mouth, be sure to tap the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you can be here the next time I turn this on.